Hey, 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 Nikki Brown here, no matter where you are and no matter what part of the world you're in. I hope that you're having a good day. So I was just watching, there's a young lady who started a business, the Abracadabra 6-month sewin. Her last name is McField. I don't know her real first name, but she's on as Abra McField for right now. And she was basically talking about how her business was stolen. And I'm not sure to what capacity, but I know that this happens. This has been happening to certain people for centuries, right? We start something and it's doing well, and somebody doesn't try, they take it. Because they have more resources, they have more money, they have more wealth, they have more power. And they turn it into something else. Sometimes they even try to buy it from us so that they can take credit for what, the person has built. And I'm all too familiar with this, right? Back in, say, 2015, I did a few interviews. And in one of the interviews, there's an internet radio station, and they would do what they call the hot seat. And when I was in the hot seat, one of the hosts of the show brought it to my attention that 5 major brands were watching my business. And although I didn't get that particular natural product business to where I wanted it to be at that time, I realized that a lot of major brands now sell similar products in the stores that they weren't necessarily selling before. Not to such a degree. And I know that some people will argue that this is just a coincidence, but nothing is a coincidence. Not if you have these people watching what I'm doing. And I mistakenly put some of my ingredients online because I wanted everybody to know that they're all natural, they're healthier for you, they're chemical free, and all of the different things. So she even mentioned that she's not, going back to Abra, she's not doing anything to take herself out, you know what I'm saying? And so again, there will be an attempt to make people seem crazy or delusional or incapable or exaggerating or being dishonest. Whatever it is, they will try to discredit you to make it seem like the work and the effort that you've done and put forth didn't really happen or doesn't really exist. So that again, they can steal it and take credit for it themselves. Whether it be an idea, whatever it is. And again, I'm familiar with this because I experienced it, right? And again, I'm sure that somebody would argue that I did not. But nothing is a coincidence. And I've put a lot of money, I put a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of research, time into making the products that I created. Of course, I started out with skincare. But anytime I would vend, I had people asking me, oh, do you know how to make beard oil? Or do you know how to make toothpaste? Do you know how to make deodorant? And so I would make those things for people upon request. Now, if you have a business, I don't recommend doing that. I recommend sticking with, maybe a handful of products, no more than, say, 4 or 5, maybe a few different scents or a few different options But if you're just starting out, you don't want to spread yourself too thin. That's one of the lessons that I learned. Don't spread yourself too thin. Don't put your ingredients online or your technique or your method. And be careful who you share it with, because not everybody's going to clap for you. Not everybody's going to be, excited to know that you're wanting to do this business. Now, if you have genuinely supportive friends and family, then by all means. But if you don't, they will hate on you. They will steal your idea. They will try to make it their own. They don't want to work with you because it's you. They would rather, try to steal the idea and grow it on their own, thinking that they can do it better than you. Not, wanting to work with you if that's what you thought would happen. Now, there are people, and, I've seen a few married couples, like Allie K Naturals. Her parents and her husband helps her to grow her business to be the $1 million, corporate company that it is today. And she's in, I don't know if she's still in Target because of the DEI stuff, but I know she's in a lot of different beauty supply stores across the country. And that's how she started, by marketing to the beauty supply stores and getting her product out there. But sometimes you need to keep it to yourself, make it, grow it, promote it, and know that it does take, it takes money, time, and effort. Like, if you're going to advertise on social media, I recommend at least $100 a day just for advertising, right? Advertising online, especially on social media, whether it be YouTube or TikTok or whatever it is, that's going to gain a following for you. So that, and the reason I say that is because the we support Black colleges t-shirts and sweatshirts that you see, that's one of the things that they did to start out. $100 a day. And $100 a day, so over a month's time, you're looking, at like $30,000. I'm sorry, $3,000. So you need a decent budget in order to really promote your products and promote your brand. And if you're starting from scratch, like some people start a business, like there is a lady who started making cookies, but she used her food stamps to buy the supplies that she needed. And people like to eat, so people are going to buy food and or beverages. But when it comes to like natural products, sometimes people say, oh, well, I don't really need it, or it's just special, it's a special soap for me to use on a special occasion, when really it's for your health and it shouldn't be looked at as a special occasion. But that's the mindset that we have adapted now. Some people would rather buy things that are less expensive, even though it's not good for them. But again, that's the mindset that a lot of people, and just like with the 6-month sewin, you're going to spend anywhere from, say, $800 to $1,000 or more for that 6-month sewin, because she wants you to buy the hair from her supplier. And again, I'm not sure exactly what's going on now, and I do think it's a good service. You go and get a touch-up after, at least at the halfway point. I'm sure that some people go more often than that. Some people probably go every 2 weeks, not for a touch-up, but, not for a retightening but at least to get, it shampooed and restyled so that you're still taking care of your hair. You're not neglecting your hair for the 6 months. You're still taking care of your hair underneath, and then you're getting it retightened after about 3 months, and then you get it taken out and you can start over again. And a lot of these women do see a lot of good growth. So it's a great business model. She has a specific braid down technique that she uses, and she teaches people. So again, great business model, because a lot of us want to grow our hair really long, and it is possible. Some people think it's not possible. It is possible. It's just that we don't know how to take care of our hair to get it to grow to great lengths. A lot of people comb their hair dry. We're not supposed to comb our hair dry. It's fragile and it breaks easy. We need some type of moisture to comb our hair. And a lot of people say, oh, when I comb my hair, it hurts. And when I say, are you combing your hair dry? They say, yeah, well, and they're not even paying attention to what I'm actually saying to them, because their mindset is somewhere different. So, some people you can help, and some people you can't. And you just always have to keep that in mind. Some people will be supportive and some people will not. Some people won't listen to you because it's you, and they just don't want to hear what you have to say because it's you, and they feel like you're better than them, because they'll say, who do you think you are? Or you think you're better than me. That's because that's what they think. And because 9 times out of 10, that's not how you think at all. You're doing your best just to be helpful. But again, I've learned over the years that everybody doesn't want help. And everybody, people won't be supportive. They'll be more manipulative. They'll try to steal from you. And this is on a small scale or a large scale. It could be your friend, your neighbor, your relative. And it could also be a large corporation that will attempt to steal from you. Because again, this has been going on for centuries. And so the common person will say, thinks that it's okay to behave this way and to show up this way in life rather than to be supportive and encouraging. It's really pretty sad, because people have normalized this behavior when it's not right at all, right? And this is not me judging. This is a fact, right? If we know the 12 laws of the universe, even if you understand the 10 commandments, the 42 laws of Ma'at, which the 10 commandments come from. There's not just 10 laws, there's 42, right? The original 42. And I've even seen more than that, but, this stealing, this cheating, this lying, those are very ungodly things. And people are the first ones to talk about how they go to church, yet they'll be gossiping and manipulative and not wanting to help or support people. Those things are not good, right? This is you not showing up in the world the way you're supposed to. This is you not doing right by people. And again, people don't want to hear that because they want to think that what they're doing is right. And like, even for myself, I know that people judge me thinking that, oh, I just, maybe mismanaged my money or didn't know how to budget or whatever the case may be. And that is not the case. You don't know my, entire journey. And even if you do, again, it's still people who are going to judge you just because you didn't do things the way they did it or the way that they think you should do it. I remember my cousin saying, oh, I'm not buying anything from her. And her daughter said, why? She said, I'm just not buying anything from her. I don't know. I just not buying. That's what people do. Or they say, oh, I don't like her. And if somebody says, why? I don't know. I just don't like her. People don't like when you're confident. People don't like when you show up and you do things that they wish they had the courage and the confidence to do. They just don't. And so they'll make it seem like, how dare you, or you have the audacity, when they should have the courage and the confidence within themselves as well. And again, I know people secretly watch me to get that confidence and courage, but I'll be more than happy to share anything that I know. Again, that's what we're here for. I remember I told somebody how to make soap, and he took it as like I wanted to be one of his wives. No, this is not what that's about. Some people try to force themselves on you, and they try to do that fast, slick talking, to make you, so you won't think about it, and you'll just kind of be swayed and manipulated to do what they want you to do. No, you don't just tell somebody what you want them to do. You communicate, you talk to them, you ask them. And if somebody doesn't ask your permission or communicate with you, they're being deceptive. There's something that's not right about it. And you have to keep that understanding in mind. That's not right. So, sometimes even when people ask you questions, they're not asking because they want to help you or support you. They're asking because they want to gossip and talk about you to other people. So, as they say, stay woke. I hope that Abra is successful in this situation. Again, like I said, she said her business was stolen. So she was making a lot of money. And she's trying to get the rights to her business back. Another good business tip, it is important to trademark and copyright your business, so that these things are less likely to happen. Because it's easy for someone to steal your business if you don't have a trademark or copyright on your stuff. And you can't necessarily, like a garment, you can't necessarily copyright a garment. Like, people can make similar pieces, but you can still at least trademark your name, or even a certain technique. Even the patent, like, if depending on what you've invented or created, you may even be able to patent it. But make sure you have all of your rights and keep them secure. Get you a lawyer. And again, I know that there is a history of our ideas being stolen and someone else copywriting or patenting them and taking the credit for someone else's work. And this is very unfortunate, but do what you need to do to protect yourself, protect your business, or whatever it is that you're doing, selling, or making. And again, I wish Abra all the best. I hope that she's able to get her business back. And you know what? Even if she can't, because she was the creator, because a copy is never as good as the original, she can start over. She's made contacts all over the globe, right? So there's people that are implementing her system right now. So she could just change the name of her system, which is not good because people don't like change. You don't really want to change your name and start over, since you've already created this model. But sometimes we are forced to take a step back and start over in another way. So I hope that that it works out for her, and that she's able to get her I hope that they cooperate with her without having to go to court and go through all the motions of that. So I don't know her personally, but I have been following her for years. I have not personally gotten a 6-month sew-in, but I did so much study and research because I was interested in having it done here in Atlanta. I like her hair. I went on her website recently, maybe as recent as 3 weeks to a month ago, and I saw that her hair products, the hair itself wasn't really in stock, at least not what I wanted. So I'm thinking now that it has a lot to do with the lawsuit she has going on. So again, I'm sending her love, and I wish her all the best, and I hope that everything works out for her. Willfully, she wins, and everything turns out in her favor. And so it is. I hope that you appreciate the business tips that I gave you. These are the lessons that I've learned over the years. Love y'all. Later.